Hi, welcome to Raise Sensation. I'm your host, Dan, and today we are going to be looking at the wild and wacky movie posters from Ghana, courtesy of these two books. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so this video is going to be talking about the hand-painted movies posters from Ghana, and if you don't know any background on these, let me run down a few things for you. One thing I will say is I first learned of these movie posters when I was working at a store and we were solicited for a book coming out, Extreme Canvas by Ernie Wolf, a fellow who runs a contemporary African art gallery. And, he was putting together a book called Extreme Canvas. And I swear it was as early as 1995 or so that I got this packet, and it was so mind-blowingly amazing that I could not wait for this book, and I was telling everyone who would come in earshot and showing them these things. The thing is, the book didn't come out to 2001, but I swear it was like 1995, maybe 96, that I originally got this packet, and it was like waiting on pins and needles to wait so many years. When the book came out, it was fantastic. It had many reproductions of these posters from Ghana. And although it has some posters that had to do with African films, local films, the vast majority of them were movies that we knew from videotapes here in the U.S., and that's how they were seeing them over there. And these hand-painted movie posters, the beginning of this book talks a little bit about it. So I'll just read from their introduction. This is how they put it. In Ghana, since the beginning of the 1980s, in towns across the country, video clubs followed a path similar to that of the moving cinema. And if the content of the movies they were showing was not linked to life in Africa, the screening at least, a social gesture, a way of bringing people together in the exercise of direct communication. The film posters from Ghana follow the two rules laid out above. A good image sells more tickets, and you have to go to the public if you really want a lot of viewers. They were produced for traveling cinemas, which typically consisted of a TV, a VCR, an electrical generator, and a car. As they moved through the cities, towns, and villages of Ghana, these cinemas sometimes presented blockbusters and sometimes underrated and nearly forgotten movies, most of them produced in Hollywood. The names of the directors were of no importance, those of the actors only when they were superstars. What each poster needed was an image to create the desire to see the movie. And that's why one of my very favorite things, my favorite, it has to be one of my favorite Ghana movie posters, is the poster for Mrs. Doubtfire, where Robin Williams, in full drag for his Mrs. Doubtfire role, is poking a broom handle straight through the skull of another character. Of course, that nothing even vaguely like that happens in the movie, but it's a great image, and that's what a lot of these posters are like. Now, the Extreme Canvas 1 and 2, one has some essays in it that are so-so. Extreme Canvas 2 has some great essays about some of the artists behind the posters and the social meanings behind some of them, some of the imagery. And they're both great books, full of these fantastic images. I have at least two other books. The problem is all those other books are in storage right now, so as I dig through my storage, I'm producing these videos. So when I get to Extreme Canvas, you will see a video on those two. But today I have these two here, and I'm going to look through them and talk a little bit about them. Both these books lean much more heavily on the posters for the African movies than the type of movie posters for films we're familiar with. And, those are the ones that get spread out all over the internet because, to see these weird, graphically violent posters for movies which may have had no violence in them at all, or bizarre monsters that don't appear in the movies, or the characters don't look anything like the actors in the movie. Those are all fun and they're great. These are really interesting. I will say that I've tried to watch some of these movies that are, a lot of times they pop up on YouTube. Really, as much as the posters for the American movies are selling you on something that isn't actually in the movie, it's kind of the same with these. Many of them are dull drama type movies that, have very little to sell them to the American audience, I will say. But still, these are great posters. This one's called GHANAVISION, hand-painted film posters from Ghana. And like I said, most of these are for the African films. And there's some really great images here. And here they have a little essay. They show the artist. This is a great poster. I have not seen this movie. I have the feeling that, if we were to watch this movie, probably there's a paper mache alligator with maybe somebody's leg sticking out, or that probably doesn't even happen at all, to be honest. And this might be a mangy store-bought gorilla suit with a paper mache mask. I'm just guessing from the ones I have seen. And here's, they do the thing where there's the same essays are in several languages, so they can be sold in several countries. Very nice. I always like when they do that. Look at that. That's a great image. Oh, these are fantastic posters. This is definitely worth looking at. Like I say, you're probably more familiar with the takeoffs on American or Chinese or whichever movies, videos they've got from other countries. And those are a lot of fun, but this is really interesting to me, and I love these images here. Really makes you want to see these movies. The Guardian, that's an American movie. I mean, something kind of similar to that happens in the movie, but it's not nearly as cool as that. I Ate My Village. In one of the books, there's an essay about how this is like the most transgressive thing you can do, is to do the idea of hatred of your community. And this is pretty wild. And here's Idi Amin, who, that is a pretty over-the-top movie, and that poster goes right along. The Wishmaster series, Species 2, which I love that movie. It's got a bizarre, over-the-top ending. And that's not too far off. There's a little closer. Snake Man. Night of the Demons. Those things happen in there. Sleepy Hollow. Nothing quite that graphic happens in the Tim Burton film. Van Helsing. There's a couple posters here having to do with that. A Jason poster. There's actually a few more in here that I was remembering of the non-African stuff. So, I guess what it was there's, these are exploitation movies, though, so there's none of that weird juxtaposition of a movie as a comedy that then turns around and has goriness. So this is a short book, but it's really well printed, and it's got some great images, and they love their martial arts films. And since I like martial arts films too, that's great. Okay, and here's another one. This is a one guy's collection, Bloodywood, they're calling it. And you know, this is a fantastically well done book. Just look at that reproduction. Wow. This is the guy who's collected these books, these posters. Another short essay about the artists. And then we hop into the posters. Oh, there's some more. This gives you a little context into the towns where the artists came from. Very nice. Powerful tree. This is another artist's essay. Very nice. Look at this. I like that, the artist's self-portrait. Heavy J. It's fantastic. This is fantastic. So they're talking about the flour sacks. A lot of artists use these flour sacks as their canvas. And now here we go into the poster part. And this is well, actually that's another, you know, American one. But a lot of these are they're homegrown movies. What an image. Fantastic. I'm gonna have to speed up a little bit. I realize I'm taking a little while. So here's another poster for The Guardian. Very different. And that's what you get when you have people doing hand-painted signs, posters rather. You know, the different interpretations that they do. And there's that image of the tree with the face in it. That's so cool. Fantastic. Witches, look at that. I mean, that looks like it is going to be out there. If anybody's got any knowledge of which ones are, because like I said, there's someone you can find some of these on YouTube, but most of the time they're a little bit. There's that great poster again. There's not much interesting happening visually. If anybody knows of any that run counter to that, please let me know, because I'd love to see more. I guess what I really want to see is somebody do a sizzle reel of the actual supernatural elements in them. The wonderful dog. Matters of the heart. All right, I'm going too slow. I think you get the idea. Like I said, the first ones I saw and the ones that have were the extreme canvas, but there's been several really good ones out there. And you know, there's the Deadly Prey Gallery does prints of some of them that are really cool, and you should check out Deadly Prey Gallery, and they have a book too. And you know, if you got the money, which I don't, you know, there is a market for the actual canvases. They do make the rounds. There you go. Oh, this is some more Snake in the Monkey Shadow. Dance of the Drunk Mantis. Shaolin Soccer, that's a pretty new one for them to have this posters. Warlock. Karate Kill. Jason Goes to Hell. That's that little thing that pops out and possesses different people in that movie. Oh, there's Tremors. Deep Blue Sea. The sharks look an awful lot like the Tremor snakes there. Anyway, another Idi Amin one. Splash. All right, that's enough for now. Folks, I'll talk to you again soon.